Hello, and welcome back to my channel. This is QB, and I'm here today to talk about the children. It is all about the children. I hope you all had a wonderful new year, and this is something I want you guys to think about now, right? As we embarking on 2025, try to, have some things that we can possibly change in our communities. Um, I've been looking at social media and I've been seeing a lot of videos about women not wanting their kids after they have them, or they're not really thinking about their children when um, they're dealing with someone, thinking about how their actions can affect their child or their children. Okay, um, ladies, we need to, before we start laying down with someone, we really need to start thinking about what kind of man we will want in our child's life. Because let's be honest, okay? When you lay down with someone, it is a choice. So there's really no such thing as an accidental pregnancy, okay? Because there are a lot of birth control out here. Sorry, a lot of birth control out here. So it's really not a mistake or an accident because you decided to lay down with this man. We really need to take the time to get to know who we are laying down with, who we are sharing our bodies with, right? And again, I promote marriage, and I'm hoping that we can change the way we think and start, really thinking about marriage before we decide to lay down with someone. And also think about what we're looking for in a father, okay? Because again, when you lay down with someone, it's a possibility for you to get pregnant. We all took sex ed, and they need to bring it back to the schools. But we if we haven't taken sex ed, you know how the reproductive system works at least. And if you don't, let me give you a quick tutorial. Okay, you girl lay down with boy, they mate, and 1 + 1 = 3. Okay, so we really need to start thinking about that before we decide to lay down with a man, right? And start thinking about what we're looking for. Now, I know that it's a lot of us who didn't have fathers. I was fortunate enough to have my dad in my life. Yes, I'm a daddy's girl. And as you know, I had older parents. Now, neither one of my parents wanted to have children, but they met and poof, here I am. And little backstory of my dad. My dad used to be in New York, right? And he was out there living his best life, doing what he want to do. And then him and my mom met in Atlantic City. And, sparks flew, lay down, poof, again, here I am, right? Um, but my dad, once he found out my mom was pregnant with me, he came back. He came to Richmond, and family members helped him get where he needs to be because he knew he had to do better since he's about to have a child. So he got a job, and he was on that job for 16 plus years until the day he transitioned to heaven, right? Um, and then but he taught me a lot. He taught me, how to be, how ladies should be, he taught me how a man should treat a lady, right? So I learned different values and things like that from my dad. So, of course, the man that I'm looking for is going to have some characteristics of my father, serious, take life seriously, provider, protector, all of that, right? And I've been looking on social media and I see that we have women out here saying that they're looking for a high value man. And what I think they're saying, really, because as you listen to them, they're not looking for a high value man. They're looking for a high income earning man, right? There's a difference, because the man values doesn't necessarily mean what he has in his pockets. It's about his morals, his characteristics, who he is as a person. Is he a provider? Is he a protector? Right? So instead of, I think, instead of us looking for how much money he makes, right? We need to start looking at this man's character, right? So instead of looking for first dates being $300, let's start taking some time and spending time with this person that we're trying to get to know, right? Because you open yourself up to someone, right? And I think if we make better choices far as the man that we decide to choose, we would get better fathers, right? So if you got a man who is not working, right? He is living at home with his mother, and he has no aspirations, no goals. Think about that. If you lay down with this man, this will be the person who will be fathering your child, right? If you got a man who is dealing drugs or any other street illegal activities, this is the man that will be fathering your child. And it's a good possibility if he's doing illegal activities, he will not be in your child's life for long, because either he's going to go to jail, which means the police is going to take everything. So how can he provide for you if he's not able to, he's not there? How can he protect you if he's not there? He's in jail or dead, right? So we want to start looking at these characteristics when we start laying down with these guys, and for the fathers that we're choosing for the children, right? Because once you have a child, it is no longer about you. It is all about the child, period. It is all about how to nurture that child to be the best adult they can be, right? You want to instill in that child the values and the goals. And I know a lot of women, you may be saying, oh, don't be telling me how to raise my child. I'm not trying to tell you how to raise your child. What I'm saying is stop being selfish, because it's no longer about you. Once you have the child, it's no longer about you. It is about the children. Okay. So just I'm just trying to give you something to think about, something to really sit back and really think about, because I don't think we've been thinking about it. Because if we have, the number of single parent households will not be as high as they are. Okay. So I put together a little PowerPoint for you that I want to share with you so you can actually see the numbers. Okay. So here we go. Again, it is all about the children. So I'm not going to read the slides word for word, and also I'm going to put the references to these the links to what I'm showing you in the description of this video. So please feel free to check it out. I encourage you to, so you can see the realization of it, right? So as you can see on this one, right, 1 out of 5 kids under 18 will be raised by a single parent, most likely the mother. You see, raised without a father. Oh my goodness, these children are not having no male influences, right? No, they're missing a part, right? Ladies, I need you to think about this as a single mom, right? And I was a single mom. I'm still a single mom, actually, but my daughter is 29. We're about to be going on 30. But being raised by a single parent, right? It's hard. Trust me, I know. Because guess what we got to do? We got to work. We got to go out here and make a living, right? We got to go out here and be the provider, be the protector, be the breadwinner, be everything, be the doctor, the nurse, the everything. Oh my goodness, after working 8 to 9 hours and then having to commute back and forth. And while we're doing all that, who is raising the children? It's either a family member or a child care center. And the family members can give your child the nurture and the love that they need, but they're still going to be missing a part if they do not have both parents, right? So while you're spending all your time trying to make a living, this child is being somewhat neglected, right? Because listen, going to work 8 to 9 hours, commuting back and forth, and you still got to come home and you got to feed the child. You got to help the child with the homework. You got to make sure the child's clothes is ready for the next day. You got to make sure that, I don't know if I said the child eat. You got to make sure, and you doing this all by yourself, you're going to break down after a while. It gets exhausting. Trust me, I know. Okay. Not saying that it's impossible, but what I'm saying is that it'll be so much better if you have two parents, right? Because if you have two parents, while you're working, he could be at home with the child, and while he's working, he could be at home with the child. Or if both of you guys work the same hours, then now you have two families that you can choose from, right? You have his family and your family who can work to watch the children, right? Because honestly, in these daycare centers, I don't know about you guys, ladies, but I did not trust them. I don't know these people, right? And I don't know the values that they have. I don't know where their moral compass is. So I don't know if I want these strangers really raising my child, because that's what they're doing. They would spend more time in the child care center than they would with you. Just something to think about, okay? And also on this one, it says 41% of the women has never been married. That is a choice, ladies. Okay? All right? Now it says 37% are divorced. In my mind, where I'm getting that from is that they wanted a wedding, not a marriage. They wanted a wedding. Now, again, every situation is different, right? You're going to have some relationships that just not going to work out. We understand that for whatever reason, right? But for that percentage to be that high, it's mind blowing. Okay. And again, 41% never married. That is a lot. And only 6.5 is a widow. Now, being a widow, that's not a choice, right? Something happened and yeah, so that's where we are. But I would not, if I had to do it all over again, I definitely would have waited till I got married and then had my child, right? Instead of trying to be fast. Yes, I was fast. Okay, I was really fast out in these streets, and I wanted to be grown before my time, right? So, I had a child, right? And it was not easy by no stretch of the imagination. So don't think it was, okay? Now on this one, check this out, you guys. In 1996, 70% of the inmates in the state juvenile detention center serving long sentences were raised by single mothers. That in itself says a lot. Okay? Read it for yourself. And I want you to really sit back and think about it, right? 70% of the inmates in juvenile detention centers serving long sentences, which means they're going to move from a juvenile detention center to jail, prison, right? Were raised by single mothers, because it's hard for us to do everything by ourselves, right? Who is going to be there making sure that they're not being influenced by something negative on TV or on social media or out in the streets, right? Who is going to be there to make sure that they are following the right path and discipline them when they need to, right? That's another thing. We're not their friend. We're their parent, and we need to parent the children, okay? So I think if we start doing that and we start embracing that, we can knock this percentage down, right? The next one is in the Black, American Indian, and or Alaska, Native children are most likely to live in a single family home. 63 and 50% of these children fits that demographic. Look at that. 63% is way too high, right? Way too high. And let me break it down a little bit further for you on this next slide. Now, I chose from the 1970s to this time because I was born in the 70s, and I wanted you to see how much has changed over the years. Look at this. Now, in the dark colors, that is fathers only. Light in the blue, it's mothers only. Look how many single mothers it has been over the years, right? We got to make better decisions and better choices, you guys. Now, this slide here is two families. This is two parent families, right? And the dark blue is the white community. The light blue is Hispanic. And the red or orange, however you see it, is Black. Look how low that is for our community, for two parents in a household. If this is not touching you, if this is not getting to your moral compass, I don't know what will. We have to, because the children, it's about the children. Remember Whitney said the children are the future? They are. Who do you think is out here in these streets now, killing people, carjacking people, beating up people, school shootings? Who do you think are doing that? It's the kids that was raised in single parent households. And it's not just me talking. Here are the facts. Look at this slide here. Okay? Single parent household, mothers only, right? That gold or yellow, however you look at it, is the Black community raised by single mothers. Look at it. And just in case you want to know that the rose color or wine color that you see, that's white. And then, of course, the blue is Hispanic. But look at the Black community. Mother-only households, okay? Now, this here says between 29.5% and 44.2%. This is the Black youth. This is how much it has increased over the years between the 1970s and 2023. The single parent household has increased from 29.5% to 44.2%. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to see that it has to be something better than this? We are forgetting about the children, and it's all about the children. The tools and the guidance and the encouragement that we give to our children is what they're going to take with them into adulthood. Hell, into their teenage years. And that's when they start thinking more independently. We have to give them better than what they have. We are doing a disservice to our community by neglecting the children, okay? And I can't stress how much a father being in a household affects the children. Your children, when there's a parent missing, the children grow up with a void in their life because they're missing half of them. Ladies, we have to make better decisions on the people we lay down with. Because again, I'm going to say it again, there's no accidental pregnancies. You know what you're doing when you lay down with this man. Okay? We know that 1 + 1 can equal 3, right? We know this, right? And then another thing, let me say this. Now, we all entitled to mistakes. So if you have a child by a man that you thought he was one way and ended up being something else, right? Why would you have another child with the same man? Or why would you go out and find another man and do the same thing? This is why I feel strongly that we need to normalize marriage, because when a man commits to you, he's committing to you and your offspring. Okay? Because think about it, that is his seed that he is implanting into you, right? So he's most likely going to take care of his seed, right? Now, again, if he is beating on you and all this other stuff, that's a whole different subject for a different video. But I'm talking about the men who are committed to the woman that he loves. We need to normalize love again, not lust, love, right? Before you lay down. Okay. Again, I grew up with older parents. So I grew up with courting. I grew up with taking your time and also being shamed. Oh, you was a little hussy if you was out there just spreading your legs for everybody. You was a tramp or a skeezer, whatever, right? But now it's like it's normalized. Oh yeah, I just had sex with him last night. It's like you don't even know this man. You know his name barely, but you don't know him, right? So when you find a man that is that protector and that provider, that man who is doing everything he can to take care of you and your child, right? And something happens and y'all break up, whatever it is, and I'm gonna even say it if he's cheating, right? And y'all break up, right? That is between y'all two. That has nothing to do with the children, right? He made a mistake, he laid down with somebody else, right? Don't take it out on the children, because that's who you're taking that out on. When you deny him access to his child, when you say, I'm putting you on child support, you are denying, you are neglecting your children when you're doing that. Because if he cheated, y'all split, but he take care of his child. He makes sure that child got food, clothing, whatever, what I'm saying? And in turn, he's still taking care of you because he's making sure that you're not taking on this alone, right? So he's still, y'all not in the household anymore, but he still is there for his children. Let him be there for his children. Please understand that the court system is not for you. Okay, they're not doing this for you. They have their own agendas. When you put children into the system, the court system, right? Now you put them on child support, right? Now this man is trying to make a living for him and you still in turn, because he is taking care of the child. He may not be buying you clothes, but he's buying that child clothes, right? He's making sure groceries in the house. I'm sorry, I'm a little hungry. He's making sure groceries in the house because both of you got to eat, right? If he's buying groceries, not because he knows that it's not just the child's eating, but he's making sure food is in the house for that child, right? So if he's taking care of his child and he's taking care of responsibilities, why would you put the court system in your business? Just something for you to think about, because I really want us to get a hold of what's going on. Every time you look at the news, every time you pick up your phone, you will see a school shooting, or you will see a child that's jumping people or knocking down old people. Back when I was growing up, and I was a little something else. I ain't gonna tell you. Woo! I was something else. I was something else. I would say this. I was something else as I got older. Being younger, I was not something else because my dad had a ring. My mom did too. They didn't play them type of games. They was older parents again. They didn't. It was, they need to know who you were talking to, who is your so-called friend, and you're not going to be on the phone all night long. See, back in my day, we didn't have cell phones. Of course, we had the rotary phones and the push down phones, right? So who you on? That's when your mama can pick up the other end and be like, "Hello," So that's what I grew up with, and they wanted to know who your friends were, where you going, what time, and you better be back in this house before the street light come on, okay? It is a thing, okay? But so but as I got a little older, I got a little out there, but I did not forget the morals and values that my parents taught me, because one thing I would never do in public was curse. Never. I would never in public act a fool. Why? Because I didn't know who knew my parents. And I did not, I didn't have time to go home to deal with that. I didn't want to be in the house forever. You know, I want to be able to still talk on the phone and look at TV, right? So I was respectful in public because I didn't know who knew my parents. Nowadays, they don't care. Children don't care about, they don't care who sees them. Why? Because they don't have anyone who's going to hold them accountable, right, for their actions. One thing I used to tell my daughter all the time was, I'm going to punish you. I'm going to discipline you. I don't care if you like me, because I'm not your friend. I'm your mother, right? I'm going to discipline you before the court system discipline you. I'm going to discipline you before the police discipline you. Nobody's going to say that they had to raise my child, because I raised her, right? So she knew she was held accountable, right? She was disciplined. Yes, I tore that tail up when I needed to, right? And to this day, she would say certain things she won't do outside because I'm in the back of her mind telling her things, right? So All I'm saying is, let's get a hold of the children. You know, it used to be a saying, I don't know if people still hear it, but it takes a village to raise a child. A village, not a single mother or a single father. It takes a village. And that village starts with the mother and the father of that child, right? So let's stop thinking about ourselves and start thinking more about the children. Okay, let's do better. It's a new year. Let's have new ideas and new thoughts. And if you have any ideas or thoughts of what you would like me to speak on or about this video, please feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And in 2025, we're going to do the best we can. Okay, so life is short and time is limited. So let's be the best person we can be with the life and time that we have. All right. Thank you guys. And also I hope you like my new intro and my new intro music. If you didn't, let me know. If you did, let me know. All right. Okay, so I'll see you next time on the next video. Have a wonderful, blessed day. See you guys.